What is going on, everyone? This is James with the Ear Hustling Podcast. As usual, partner in crime. Got Eric over here. Eric, what's going on?
No, not too much, man. Just another beautiful day in Wayne County, Michigan. Rainy, 70, thunderstorms.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, April showers are supposed to bring May flowers. They ain't supposed to be May showers bring June flowers, but it is what it is.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, here in Atlanta, it's partly cloudy and 81.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Sorry, I just tried. Anyway, we got a special guest on the line with us. We got Antwan Wallace. Antoine is a author, and he wrote a book, No Mom, No Dad, No Excuse, Cursed at Birth. And we're going to get to that shortly. He is from Youngstown, Ohio. He now lives in Puerto Rico. Antoine, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all having me, man. It's a pleasure.
No problem. So I got to start here. How in the world did you get to Puerto Rico? And some of you flew. I know that.
I was going to say, I swam over here, man. Hey, come on, Michael Phelps. But nah. How did I get here? I'm gonna get right to the point. I'm gonna be 100 on the show. I had two choices. Okay, I had two choices, Mr. Montgomery, or James. James. Like we talked about. Okay, so look, either one, feel sorry for myself, relapse, and try to end it all, or get back on my feet, brush myself off, forget about the past, buy a plane ticket, and start over. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. And that's how I got here, man, in a nutshell.
Okay.
Being 100, I'm being honest.
So why Puerto Rico?
Here's the thing, man. It was supposed to have been Hawaii because I'm a traveler anyway. But, at the time, the COVID-19 hit, them prices was cheap. So I made that move.
Okay.
So shout out, I'm just being honest, man.
Yeah,
but, I've been having my own Puerto Rico, but when the Corona came and hit and everything dropped, I'm like, yo, here's my cue. Or I can sit here and relapse and die. You know what I'm saying? And just give up. So yeah, we're gonna start off strong. I'm just keeping it 100.
Okay. So how long you been in Puerto Rico?
I've been here since March 18th.
Okay.
And the last time I touched any substance was March 15th. And I laid there in bed. I'm like, you know what? I ain't going out like this, And I had a long conversation with God. First time I ever had a heart-to-heart with the man, And I had a little bit of, substance on the side of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to flush it. This is it. I'm going to just get up and go. And I bought that ticket. 3 days later, I was in Puerto Rico and never looked back since.
Awesome. So we're definitely going to get into that a little bit more. But there's one thing that I have to say right now, Antoine. As you heard, Eric is from Detroit. He's in Detroit recording. I'm originally from Detroit. I'm in Atlanta. And there's one thing that we want to let the listeners know, because we have supporters in Georgia and in Michigan. Even though this young man is from Youngstown, Ohio, he is not an Ohio, I'm not going to say the other word, fan. So thank you. So no one has to turn their radios off, their podcasts off right now. You can keep listening. This is one of the good guys.
Hold on. Time out. I want to plead the fifth on that, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, you changed up on me?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man.
This man is holding up an Ohio, shirt right now. Oh, my.
Hey. But, hey, what if I told you this was just for something to wear? It don't count. So we good.
No, that's supposed to be used to start fires. That's what that's supposed to be used for.
Or blow noses.
Yeah.
Noses is good, too.
Or wipe your butt with it. Hey, I've been using it for toilet paper, too, man.
But you're still holding it, Antoine. You're still holding it.
Hey,
he washed it.
I washed it. That way I ain't got to buy toilet paper because it's scarce around here right now.
Well, in that case, since you're holding that shirt, I would like to request to treat this witness as a hostile witness, because it's about to get serious up in here. No, I'm just kidding. You're still a friend of the show, Antoine, even though you're holding that shirt. But so do you care to, and this is something that you and I really didn't discuss, so do you care to elaborate? You said some really powerful things in the beginning there. So to kind of turn serious here, do you care to elaborate a little bit as far as, when you said you could even choose not to even be here? I mean, do you care to elaborate on just the substance abuse or whatever it was that you were going through? Do you care to elaborate?
Now, I can't get in too much in the detail because only part one is out. But I will say this, though. I will say this, man. Like April on back. No, I'm sorry, not April. About like February, March, I was in a dark space in my life, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I watched my whole life fall apart. I had it all. I busted my ass to get everything I ever wanted and lost it all because of drugs. So, I was at a low. And I'm like, you know what, man? I ain't got nothing else to live for. But then I thought to myself, man, hold up, bro. You still here. And the crazy thing is, I'm going to just put this out there. The crazy thing is this. I made the phone call for, my peoples to come bring me some more drugs. But they didn't respond. And I'm like, God is real, man. Because any other time he clockwork. But that time, and I'm like, okay, I'm done, man. I just can't take it no more, man. I'm at the lowest of the low. It's a wrap. He didn't respond. And then I had that long conversation with God, and then that was it. That was it, because a lot of childhood trauma, hey, it was really a lot. But I'm here now, so that's just all I can say for right now, because I got a lot more juicier stuff to put in the book. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. So you did send us your bio, Antoine, but I do want to give you an opportunity. Eric and I want to give you the opportunity for you to kind of tell your story. I think hearing from you is going to be more impactful than me touching bullet points. So if you don't mind, share with the listeners a little bit about your upbringing, just life in Ohio, and just kind of things that went on in early life of Antwan Wallace.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do it just like I did in the book. I think it's only fair. Before I get into the good stuff, I'm going to take y'all back to where it all started and give y'all the psychology behind everything. But, 92, born in Youngstown. My mom was on drugs. My dad sold drugs. And the guy that my mom married, I stayed with their family. That wasn't even my blood family. So that was basically my step-grandma and my step-grandpa who raised me. And that was from 92 till about, 2000. My mom got clean, and she came and got us. And I was up in Columbus. She tricked me too, man. She said, okay, you just coming up here for the summertime and you'll be back. Never went back to Youngstown. But that's the only way they can get me to Columbus is, hey, we'll let you go back. But that never happened. But anyway, fast forward, it's about 2001. She had a boyfriend. She had all four of us, because there's 5 boys in total. But my oldest brother, he got Down syndrome. So my grandma always had him. But us other 4, I'm the youngest. And then there's 3 older. But we stayed with her and her boyfriend. And this was around 2001, when the September 11th thing went down and all that. When we stayed there, I was 8 years old. And not the brother 1 year older than me, but the 2 older brothers. I'm 8, and the other 2 are 13 and 14. Something really traumatic happened to me. They did some things to me and made me do some things to them. And I'm putting it on Front Street, but I got to save it for the book. I'm just skimming through.
Yep.
Skimming through. But, and these are my older brothers. So there go, so that's that. Fast forward, my mother's boyfriend cheated on her. So she got her own spot. And here's the thing about what happened. Any addict could tell you, you cannot heal in the same area you got sick in. I'm saying that one more time. You cannot heal in the same place you got sick in. So with me, I say that to say this, my mom, she moved to the hood. And anybody in Columbus know Champion Avenue, that area that is bad news. So, she out there, it's only a matter of time before that creep back up on you. And eventually it did, and she lost custody of us. They raided the crib. My grandma got custody of us. And this was about like 2002. And my grandma, she did the best she could. She really did. But me and my brother Mike, we was out of control. And then the older brother, the 2 oldest brothers, the one who did something to me, he was already old. He was AWOL, so he was doing his own thing. But my grandma had me and the second to oldest from me, or the first from oldest to me. And my grandma did what she could, man, but we ended up in foster care. And this was from 2003 up till 2006. And that was a good family, man. They really tried their best to take care of me, but I was bad, always fighting, getting suspended, I was just bad. And she was battling cancer. So I was like, I was like the bad apple of the bunch, and she had to do what she had to do because the cancer came back. So they had to remove me from the house because I was putting stress on the house. And I was young and I didn't understand, but I understand now as I became an adult. Like, she did what she had to do, but it was out of love, but she just couldn't control me, And by that time, James, that was like my 5th or 6th elementary school. So I've been moving around a lot, you know what I mean? And this was like 06. I was in 8th grade. My grandma got custody of us again, only to lose custody because, me and my grandma never got along, And fast forward to 2007, I'm in foster care again. But this time, I'm in an all-white town with an all-white family. Now, around this time, I'm in high school. Things is going good. And this is a little funny thing I always laugh at, man. When I first got to the all-white town, I told myself, man, I'm not messing with none of these white girls around here. I'm not. I told my brother, but I ain't messing with none of these white girls. 2 weeks later, I had one. So I always laugh at that. But so fast forward to the junior year, I'm the star athlete on the team. Colleges come and checking me out. I'm getting letters, scholarship offers, all this other crazy stuff. But then, I got into a fight. I beat up this guy over the girl that I had. And, I got expelled. And the situation was so bad, but, they like, well, why did you do him that bad? It wasn't that serious. And I think, like, a lot of the stuff from my childhood, my trauma, all that, it all came out on him, and I apologize about that to this day, because it didn't have to be like that. But, I've always tried to defend what was mine, I don't know if it's a psychological thing with my mom or whatever, but I just, but that was that. So I lost all my scholarships. I'm in juvenile detention center, now I'm 17 years old. Everything's gone. But I stayed up on my studies while I was locked up. And when I got out, I graduated with my class, 2011. Everything was cool. Went to college. I ended up going to Heidelberg University in Tiffin, Ohio, Division III. Was playing football. I was gaining momentum. I was a high prospect. I came in as a starter, as a freshman. But then again, all that freedom I was not used to, smoking weed, drinking. This is before all the other drugs, but this was just when it was only weed. Weed, my drugs was weed, white women or women in general, and just it just partying and alcohol. That's what that was, And I never forget, man. I was only there for a couple months, and they kicked me out. I was in bed with a girl, and the dean of students, he's been hearing about all the stuff I've been doing, so he came to my dorm personally and said, "Mr. Wallace," I woke up, the girl jumped up and was scared, and he was like, "If we find anything, we've heard what you've been doing. If we find anything in this room, you're gone." I said, "Okay," because I had to go speak to him twice before that, so it was already 2 warnings. I'm like, "You're not gonna find nothing," and they end up finding her weed and her Black and Mild cartridge. I'm like, I ain't got nothing, so they still end up letting me go. So, wow. Yeah, man. But the thing was that was short-lived. But here's the thing, that all progressed though, because I was so caught up with the girls and partying, I was skipping class. I wasn't going to class. Like, I was standing in other people's dorms and room and just, I quit the football team first. And then everybody was like, "Bro, what you do that for?" I just, I was young. I was 18. I was fresh out of juvenile. I just, hey. But, and here's the thing too, man. Heidelberg, they didn't even have the major that I wanted. I was just there. I didn't even know why I was there because I was trying to make other people happy. Like my foster family and everybody, I did that to make them happy. I wasn't happy, but I was doing it for them. That's not what I wanted. College wasn't what I wanted to do. But anyway, fast forward, I'm out of school, man. It's 2012. I'm back at my grandma's house. Things didn't work out. Now, I'm back in Youngstown again. I'm like, dang, how the heck did I end up back in Youngstown? But it was beauty in that because I was able to regain my relationship with my father, temporarily. And that was cool. I really liked that. We was able to bond, and it's amazing how much me and him are alike, but never lived with each other. And the genetics is amazing. But anyway, I end up trying to go to YSU, and I got in, but then again, I wasn't focused, and I'm like, but this is not me. I don't want to do it, and end up going back to Columbus 2013. Now, at this time, I'm finally I got that transition on, becoming a man, like figuring out how to be a man and how to be on my own and stuff like that. So now I'm on my own. I got my own place. Me and my ex, I got the place. I'm busting my butt. And where my life really changed, man, was when I got my CDL. That's when real money started to come in. And that's when I was investing properties and just working hard. And where everything started to change, I don't want to speak too much on it because I got the book, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I will say this, 2016 was the year everything changed, because, and I say it because it is. Yeah, I went to Poland and played football overseas, but when I came back, everything just went to crap because without saying too much, I will say this, man, be careful who you let in your house. I let a particular family member in my house. And the thing about it is this, I never stopped to ask myself, why is he always homeless? Why is he always this? Why don't he never I never put two and two together because, I just didn't know. But, and you let certain people in your house, I'm gonna just say this, man, you hang around 5 millionaires, you become a 6. If you hang around 5 drug addicts, you become a 6. It's a matter of time. I don't care who you are. I don't care how strong-minded you are. You are who you hang around, because the influence will eventually, and that energy will eventually rub off on you. That's one of the laws of power. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from the unlucky and the unhappy because you're going to be infected next. It ain't exactly like that, but I know that's one of the laws of power. They say, I'm just paraphrasing.
Right,
but,
right. No, you're right.
But, yeah, so, at 2016, I'm fighting. Now I got a monkey on my back. I got a little addiction. Now it's a roller coaster ride. I'm having the highest of the highs. I'm investing properties, real estate, getting buildings, traveling, doing my thing. And, it's just like a roller coaster ride. But that part I want to save for the book. I don't want to put that part out there.
Yeah, no doubt. So if you don't mind us asking, you mentioned your drug of choice back several years ago. What became your drug of choice in 2016?
2016, man, that's when I got introduced to cocaine. And before then, I knew nothing about it. It started off, okay, boom, little bump here, boom, little bump there. Then it progressed. But I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, okay, you just party drug, whatever. I didn't know what came with that. But I should have stopped and asked myself, why has he been like this? Why has he been like this all these years? Don't let them in your house. But me having a good heart, it backfired. But hey, we make decisions and there's consequences for our decisions at the end of the day.
Right.
But I'm still here. So
what would you say to younger Antoine right now if you had a chance? What advice would you give to him?
Younger Antoine, hey man. Younger Antoine, if you listening to this, just watch your circle. Watch your circle. That's all just watch your circle. Be more assertive. Speak up more. Speak up more. And just speak up when you're supposed to, and just watch your circle. Because I've always been a lone wolf, man. I've always had a mind of my own, do my own thing. But just the influences and the people, it'll eventually catch up and get to you.
Okay. So I know you just released part 1 of No Mom, No Dad, No Excuse, Cursed at Birth. How many parts can we expect?
That's a good question, man. Here's the thing. I was going to just put it out in one big book, call it that. I hope somebody gets motivated. Here you go. But I'm like, nah, because everything is increments. Life is not over. If I just make one book, then I can't just say that that's the end. I just want to continue. And then I think it's good too to put it in increments because people get a chance to catch on to the whole story and put it out piece by piece. And it's better that way. That way everybody can get a chance to catch on to what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. The camera fell, bro.
No, you're fine. Yeah,
it's okay. We can see that football background coming in handy.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what position?
I got hands. I played DB, wide receiver, wherever they needed me, man. Wherever they needed me.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to have to fake an injury just to get off the field. just to get a breather. So, but man, it was fun, man. It was fun. I made peace with football, and my future endeavors is I'm in the gym. I'm running every day. I fought a little bit late, but never better late than never.
Right.
Well,
okay.
It's never too late, sir. It's never too late. Just remember that.
That's true.
Look at Bernard Hopkins. Mike Tyson's supposed to have been coming back, and y'all sports fanatics. So what y'all think about that?
Oh, man. 53-year-old Mike Tyson. You know what? I'm sorry. 53-year-old Mike Tyson is still a scary man.
Yeah.
Think about George Foreman.
George
Foreman put Michael Moore out. One punch, was getting beat the whole fight, made Michael Moore from Detroit take a nap.
You know what? I would love to be a fly on the wall at Deontay Wilder's camp right now, because he was doing the talking. He could have beat Tyson in his prime. Now Tyson is working. I don't know if Tyson can give Deontay a run. I really don't. But I really like to be a fly on the wall. Like, Mr. Wilder, you probably should be quiet for a minute.
After what happened with him, and Fury, he got to get past Fury first before he messed with a legend.
He got to get past Fury first. That was brutal. That was a brutal fight. My wife and I refused to talk about it.
From one Tyson to another.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife and I refused to talk about that Fury fight because Wilder got dead dirty in that one.
Yeah, he did. Hey, but look, check this out. I'm a Wilder fan, because of his upbringing where he come from. But he lost that first fight too.
Yeah, he did.
I'm a fan.
No, you're right.
I'm a fan.
You're
I'm sorry.
absolutely right. He did. Yep.
Even when he knocked him out and knocked him down that last round, he still lost that fight.
Yeah,
he was outboxed the whole time.
Yeah.
But hey, man, it's politics and boxing. It's a business, so they had to keep him undefeated for round 2 because it's all about the money.
Right. Yep. Part 3 is going to be a moneymaker. That's for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would love to be there in person because I think that you never know how a third fight's going to turn out though. Tommy Hearns finally got a victory. Did he get a victory? No, it was a draw. It was 2 losses and a draw, and Tommy Hearns should have won that third fight against Ray Leonard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little before my time. No, I'm just kidding. It's
a little bit before my time. Hey, I'm a fan of Hearns though. Y'all had the golden era of boxing, man. Hitman, Hearns.
Yeah.
And you could have came in from Youngstown. You wasn't that far away where you couldn't have came over and saw some good fighting over at the Crime Stream in Detroit. You wasn't that far.
Hey man,
even though you weren't old enough to drive.
It's cool, man. I got YouTube, man. I get to relive the moments, man. I always say I was born in the wrong generation. Y'all had the best music. The 90s and 80s was the best music. You know what I'm saying? And just the sports and just the way the world was at that time. Like, and I'm an old soul, and I watch a lot of the classics and stuff.
You know what? I cannot wait to hear this back. This young man just said we had the best music in the 90s. I could not agree with you more. 90s was awesome.
Best.
Tupac, Biggie, Prince, Michael Jackson.
Both black and white Michael.
Yes, the black and white. We don't know, Antoine, if you saw that episode with Black Mike versus White Mike.
I was watching that. That was the Mount Rushmore.
So yeah, you know what? We actually still need to finish having that conversation offline, James, because I'm not done with that conversation.
That's fine.
Hey, can I throw my 2 cents on that one?
I was just about to ask you. You mentioned you had something to say about it. So what you got?
Check this out. Black Mike and White Mike. It's too many hits, man, to compare. If you're talking about the skin, okay, Black Mike wins. But if you're talking about music, man, it's just so many.
It is.
On both sides, bro.
It's
on
tough.
Both sides.
Yep.
And we might need to have a Mount Rushmore of best musicians of all time.
I put it on the schedule.
Hey, real quick before we get into the interview, I keep saying Mr. Man, I just got respect. James.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that Mount Rushmore, okay, you had Ali.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
You had Michael Jordan. I respect that. You had Carl Rempkin. Cool. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Hold on, time out. And I'm thinking to myself, he could have picked anybody. Like, maybe Jackie Robinson. You changed the color barrier. You picked Tom Brady.
I
had to come to the conclusion of this. It's a Michigan thing. Because I feel like hey, it's a Michigan thing. Because I feel like you would have picked Bernard Hopkins over or you would have. I mean, not Bernard Hopkins, Denard Robinson.
No.
So it's just a Michigan thing. I'm like, dang, Tom.
Tom ain't on Mount Rushmore for what he did in Michigan. He wouldn't even get into the park if we were talking about his Michigan career. But we're talking about New England Patriot Tom. That's who we're talking about.
Man, he did some amazing things, man. And that move down south, man. I think he's gonna do great things.
You think so? I don't know, man.
Yeah. He got some receivers, man. He got some weapons.
41, 42-year-old Tom Brady. Had he did this 3 or 4 years ago, I'll be with you on that. He does have a team, definitely. But we talked about him having a down year. He's getting old. Father Time's catching up with him. So we'll see, though.
Yeah.
28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, man. Why is everybody calling it a down year?
For Tom, it is. That's like saying
if you take the name of Brett Favre was like 25 touchdowns and 20 picks.
Yeah. He was losing his consistency. Yeah.
But so, Mr. Antwan Wallace, we got him on the show here. What other projects are you working on, or what are you considering working on?
Okay, so as far as like project goes, entrepreneur, I got a lot of things. Matter of fact, I got a whole notebook full of stuff, and then I got a couple things in the works. I'm working from home right now, but as far as like the book and trying to inspire people, I'm just focusing on the book right now. But I will say this, part 2, when it comes out in late June, it won't be on Amazon. I'm working on an app, and it's going to be an app that I have as a book. So I'm going to have my own platform, and I can't say that. So from part 2 moving forward, I'm going to just do my own thing and just release it exclusively. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Antoine, if you don't mind sharing this, I'm kind of doing the math here. I estimate you to be about 27, 28 years old. Is that about right?
27.
All right. So something I noticed on Facebook that you have a picture of Ahmad Ali as your cover photo. What are your thoughts on that? You're in the age group. You're an athlete, the way Ahmad was, and you mentioned that you're in the gym running. What are your thoughts on the case?
Without getting too all emotional, man, because I don't want to, it's a different year, but ain't nothing changed, and I'm gonna keep it real short. Like, now we see why Muhammad Ali didn't go to the service. Now we see why, Kaepernick took that knee. Now people see why, But like I said, man, it's just a sad situation. He had his whole life ahead of him, and just from a misunderstanding, he got to lose his life. And it's just sickening, bro. And it's just sad. It's just sad.
Right. It's funny you mentioned two people. You mentioned Muhammad Ali and you mentioned Kaepernick. When you talk to people on the other side of this argument, what you hear them say is they're unpatriotic, right? They chose the wrong time to stand for this. And I always ask those people, when is the right time?
Exactly.
And we can never get that answer, right?
Exactly.
And I say you have a platform, you use it. And if you're okay with the consequences, then you're okay with the consequences. That just kind of adds to your argument. If I'm going to lose my job because I'm standing up to police brutality and social injustices by taking a knee while a song is playing, if I lose my job over that, then you know what? That's shame on you. Yeah. That's the way I see it. As far as Ahmad is concerned, people are now saying, well, I want to see, I was actually had a Twitter beef with this Caucasian woman. And she said, well, I want to see a current picture of him. And my question was, why? What difference does it make?
What difference does it make? Yeah.
And then one finally came out, right? And the picture of Ahmad, it looks like a mugshot. And then she said, I knew it. And what exactly did you know? And my question to her became, and I'll ask you guys this as well. Unfortunately, I've been to lots of funerals in my life, and I've seen lots of obituaries. I've never seen an obituary where someone looked busted on the obituary. We always pick a nice picture to remember our loved ones by. We don't pick a mug shot, or we don't pick a picture of them in their final days, so it's disgusting.
You know what you should have said? You should have been like, ma'am, can I see your camera roll, please? Because I know you ain't got all 10 out of 10s in your phone. I know you got some janky pictures. So
Man,
let me see your. You should actually let me see your camera roll. And I prove my point.
You know what? I didn't even have to ask that, Antoine, because her profile pic wasn't even a 10. It was like a 3 at best.
You know what my answer to that question would have been?
Man,
I can't show you a current picture of him because he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would have been my answer. So, and what difference does his profile pic have to make anyway with this man running on the side of the road? What difference does it make how he looks?
Yeah. Right. And you know what? And let's play devil's advocate, and let's say that he was up to no good, right? And let's say that he was casing the house that he was looking at. Is the punishment death? Is the punishment death by a citizen? Mind your business. Call the police. Let the police handle it.
Exactly. That's shades of Zimmerman and Trayvon taking
it's
justice
exactly
into your own hands.
Yep. But you know,
and then it took what? Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say, and it took 70-something days for them to say something. You know what I mean? And that's only because the video was out there. You know. So
that's exactly what his attorney said. You know, the police, the prosecutors, they all saw the video early on. They're only doing something because now we're seeing the video. That's the only reason why something has been done. Something was done once these, I call them what they are, pieces of shit, when their address was put on social media and people start planning marches to their houses, that's when something was decided to be done about it. It's, once again, it's disgusting. But Antoine, you said it right. It's a different year. It's the same results.
Same results, man. We can go back all the way to Emmett Till, even before that. You know, just, hey, man. And you know what's crazy? I wanted to say something too. Mm-hmm. When I first got to Puerto Rico, it wasn't the easiest. You know, I was staying on the Strip in Isla Verde, where all the tourists go, and it was expensive, and I ran out of money up there. But one thing I noticed, man, racism ain't too far away from me. You know, I'm far away from the mainland, but I'm not too, you know, long story short, I just walk up and down the street and I speak to everybody. I spoke to a white guy. Hey, how you doing, sir? He just looked at me. I'm like, ain't nothing changed, bro. It don't matter where we at. It don't matter where we at.
Wow.
And then the person behind him spoke, who was white, and hey, how you doing? You know? So
yeah. Wow.
At the end of the day, man, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, I think we just need to unite and use our voices in a positive way, you know, and demand change, you know, really. But anyway, Antoine, Puerto Rico, I want to ask you a question about that. I went to Puerto Rico for the first time last year in June, and there was a street with all the umbrellas. Have you seen that street yet?
Oh, was that, you talking about in Old San Juan? I seen pictures. I haven't got that far because when I got here, I came here in the middle of the corona. My grandma thought I was crazy. But when I tried to venture around, they said, nah, you can't. They was kicking people off the street. To this day, they got like military vehicles riding around doing stuff, you know, so.
Really?
Yeah, man. Wow. I didn't get a chance to really get out there yet. But I did sneak on the beach a couple times, got kicked out the beach, but, you know.
Well, be safe over there, definitely. Be safe.
I've got a quick question about Puerto Rico. What's the news perspective coming from Puerto Rico about what's going on, how our current commander-in-chief is handling things? On this show, we don't mention him by name. We either call him 45 or that guy who stays in the big White House.
Yeah,
or a cuss word.
Or cuss word.
The big orange.
The big orange.
Yeah,
it's funny, man. People be making all kind of different stuff out of that guy. But anyway, I talked to a couple of the locals. They feel betrayed. You know, like they always, like Puerto Rico is always the last to receive assistance every time something go down. Like, you know, the people here in Puerto Rico, as far as my knowledge, they haven't even got their stimulus, or they just now getting it. You know, and yeah, so. It's like Puerto Rico is always last, but United States want to claim, oh, that's mine. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. Well, help them out too then. You know, y'all want to come in and steal land and claim stuff, we'll take care of that. But that's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
So Antoine, last thing for me, tell the listeners where they can find your current book.
Okay, so part 1, you can find out on Amazon.com. Pretty straightforward. Type in "no mom, no dad, no excuse." It should pop right up. 99 cents. And that's pretty much how you can find it. Now, it's only 8 pages, but like I said, I get to the point, so there's no need to ramble and do all that other stuff. I'm getting straight to the point. I'm dropping facts and I'm speaking my piece, and that's basically what this is all about. And also to inspire people, because I know I ain't the only one who's been through what I've been through, maybe the one who came to light, but I ain't the only one who's been through what I've been through. I want y'all to take a step back and see from the beginning, because like I said, I'm all about speaking my piece. People gonna say this, people gonna say that, but at the end of the day, I know what it is, and I'm just speaking. I'm just at peace, man. I'm just at peace, and this was a really good opportunity to get it off my chest, because a lot of writers, I'm new to this, but I speak to a lot of writers. They say, once you get that off your chest and speak up, you feel a lot better. You ain't do no harm to nobody. You ain't never did nothing to nobody. You speaking your piece, and if they gonna say what they gonna say, that's cool, because they got their opinion. But I spoke my piece, and that's the best I can do. And just keep it moving and be happy. So things is good, man. It worked out.
Well, here's the bottom line, Antoine. Millions, I'm sure, across time have gone through what we've all gone through, but only a few step up and talk about it. So kudos to you.
Exactly.
Definitely applaud you. Big ups. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show. We'd love to have you back, talk to you about part 2 at some point, once that's released and been out there for a minute. Definitely love to have you come back on.
Hey, can I ask y'all 2 last questions real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, okay. This one is for James. The other one is for Brody. Okay, listen. When the whole Barry Sanders thing went down, he retired, and he just felt like, the team wasn't what it was, and he retired. A lot of the people was upset.
Mm-hmm.
How did y'all take that? Was you one of the people who said, okay, well, F him, forget him, he turned their back? How did you feel about that?
So my initial reaction was I was disappointed. I was disappointed and I was upset, because at that time, the way he retired was through a fax, and the thoughts that I had was, at the time they were playing at the Pontiac Silverdome, and there's thousands of people that can fit in the Pontiac Silverdome. It was one of the larger stadiums in the NFL. And I just remember thinking that fans came to the Detroit Lion games to see Barry Sanders. And we used to chant, Barry, Barry. That was the chant, and that was us. And that was us there supporting him. And I felt like it was a slap in the face to the fans, to his fans, that he didn't do a normal retirement. But then after a little while passed, I started thinking about, what did the organization really ever do for Barry? Anyone that was really about anything that was there to protect Barry, they got rid of. Lomas Brown, Kevin Glover, they got rid of these guys. So it's like, really, what did the organization do for him? So I felt like him or Calvin Johnson didn't know the organization anything, because even though I'm a fan of Detroit Lions, they're a piss-poor organization. They're a greedy organization. They're just about the money. They're not about winning. And it's always going to be a Barry Sanders and a Calvin Johnson that we as fans going to be blessed to see, but are going to be cut short on because they're going to leave the organization early. So I don't blame the guy.
Yeah, he had to do what he had to do, man. That's like with Percy Harvin. He retired early. He got the migraines. He got to do what he got to do. Vikings fans was upset. So, yeah, man. It's just, I just wanted to see what your take on was that. That was before my time, but like I said, I'm an old soul, and y'all from Detroit, so what better people to ask than y'all,
Yeah, man, Barry was one of a kind.
About Barry too. Yeah, he was.
You feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, he quietly and he humbly left. He took a look around, like, you know what? I ain't going nowhere. They ain't doing nothing to improve the organization. So you know what? Bye.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him. You got to protect. You have to protect your body and you have to protect your mind. Yeah, and a lot of athletes, as being a football player, those hits, they add up.
Man, they do.
Man, they add up. And then James, you've been in football for a while. You've done a lot of things in regards to football, both on the business side and the playing side. Me with like basketball and baseball, that stuff hurts. And then you get to thinking about, I think at the time that he was going to get married or he was in a relationship or something like that, wanted to have kids, you want to be around and you want to be able to raise your kids as a healthy man. You don't want to be limping or, Percy Harvin's case, forgetting stuff because you don't even remember what happened like 2 hours ago. So You know, I felt him on that. As I got older, the decision became clear. I became more understanding as I became as a dad, really.
Yep. Well said, man. Well said. All right, so last question, man. It's a trick question. We're gonna end it like this.
We're ready.
Y'all both are sports fanatics.
Yes.
Hey, and the last time, James, you was using your Google, so no Google this time. All right.
This man does his research. I like him.
Yeah. I watched the video. So, hey, James, ain't none of that.
None of it. Hands right here.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, let me see your hands.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
All right. So look. In that famous interview that Allen Iverson did, the practice interview, how many times did he say practice?
Ooh.
18?
Let me see your hands.
Is it 18?
He said 18? All right. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not 18. What you got, James?
I'm gonna say 32.
How
many times?
22.
22.
Oh, I was close. I was close.
I had a 2 right.
Either way it goes, too many practices.
It was too many practices.
The man got his point across.
He really did. He really did.
So, Antoine, I want to invite you to a round table that we're going to be having pretty soon. It's going to be basketball related. So you seem like that you're a sports aficionado. I'd like to invite you. We're going to have a panel. It's going to be full of like James, myself, and then a couple of people who've participated, in various sports to give our takes on some things that recently came out. So would you mind being a friend of the show again and joining us sometime next week?
I don't mind that, man. I'll make time for you guys, man. I love y'all's energy. I love y'all's frequency that y'all vibrate on, and the vibe is nice, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad our paths crossed on Facebook. Definitely happy about that. And we definitely look forward to talking to you again. And I'll get you the information for that show that Eric was talking about.
Okay, cool. Hey, you didn't give me your address. I got to send you. You want this jersey or not?
No.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have us treat it like an old LeBron James Cleveland Cavalier jersey.
Oh, we ain't about to go there.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to be on the next episode. We'll get into that. So we're going to cut this one off, Antoine. But I'll tell you, this man that also you're talking to does not like LeBron James. So we're going to end it there. And we're going to definitely talk about LeBron in the next episode. But Antoine, hang tight for a second. But thank you so much for being on the show.
All right. I appreciate y'all having me, man. Thank you.